After 6 years, Fortnite remains one of the biggest games on the planet thanks to constant updates, groundbreaking features, but most importantly, listening to fans. The monkey set was created by a player years ago and quickly became one of the most requested skins to be brought to the game. The concept circulated every summer, and this year, Fortnite took notice. From the 4th of July to the 17th, crew pack members can claim the Nanner Buddy for free. Sadly, it's not the outfit yet. A feature you didn't realize was a fan idea just got added after 2 years. We could hop on boars, grab chickens, and ride wolves, so riding raptors, it was only a matter of time. Reddit posts demanding raptor vehicles went mega viral, and after years of asking, Fortnite finally dropped it in Season 3. But did you know every Cuddle Team leader is now designed by a fan? Wasn't originally like this, but in 2022, Epic released an outfit named Sid. She's based on a concept by Gigi's Lab, who sold insanely well. In fact, the response to this was so popular that Fortnite started unmasking Cuddle Team leaders, revealing they were Sid all along. One of the coolest ideas a fan has come up with is the Slurp Grenade. Captain Silas posted this on Reddit, and it was full of details down to the exact stats of the item. It wasn't long before Epic noticed this and dropped the Chug Splash with identical abilities. A more obvious way to add fan ideas is through contests like Emote Royale. The second time they hosted it, Epic wanted to inspire players, so they partnered with Pokimane. She submitted her own idea for a dance, giving us the Poke Emote. Another contest is Fortnite Mayor's Concept Royale, and Anime Absol decided to pitch his idea for a Frankenstein skin. Now sadly, it didn't win the competition, but Fortnite noticed something, a Halloween version of the Star Wand pickaxe. They loved it so much, the concept was brought to the game as the Scully Scepter. Now, a more controversial idea was suggested by Chemical Postman. He went viral on Reddit for his Insta Revive item. It got a ton of upvotes, but a lot of people thought it'd be way too overpowered. So of course, Epic never ran with it in Battle Royale, because when the Bodyguard LTM dropped, the Revive Grenade, it looked suspiciously familiar. And even this season's items were suggested by fans. Half a decade ago, Tom W45 made a boomerang concept. It was super in-depth, with multiple curve throws, a one-shot kill, and more. It was dismissed by other fans who thought it would be overpowered or too complicated to use, and we're not entirely sure if Epic saw this. At the end of the day, it is just a boomerang, but we do newly added one last month. It's not a one-shot kill, but it is definitely useful. One of the craziest stories involves the double agent concept by EA Skate. Of course, it's a great skin, so Epic bought it, releasing Marius into the item shop. Seemed to be the end of it, right? Well, now they had the license to the skin. Epic reused Marius for the Air Jordan collab, revealing Swish. It was a totally new skin that you had to buy separately, but at least you got a few Nike styles with it. You'd be surprised how many items were originally fan ideas. Back in Chapter 1, Work CS was tired of the guided missile and offered an alternative, the Recon Drone. It let you get a view from above and figure out where all the enemies are. This got thousands of likes, but we didn't see it until years later when the Owl Drone released. It's always the simple ideas that perform well, like Bush Bandit's Portastorm. I didn't even have to explain what to do, you could just tell, and the idea of throwing a small storm anywhere must have appealed to people, getting almost 10,000 upvotes. Epic loved the concept and brought us a much more in-depth item, the Storm Flip. You really gotta appreciate how Epic gets inspired by the community, especially when it comes to something they never intended. When the cube first appeared in Chapter 1, Reddit started to ban everyone mentioning it for no reason, but the fans came up with a solution. Just call him Kevin. It got past their block list, and Epic loved the idea, calling him Kevin ever since. It happened again years later when the Buttercake animal showed up in a season trailer. At this point, Epic probably had their own name for it, but the fans didn't know what it was, so we all called him Colombo. A petition by ex-Twitchin started all of this, and now that is his official name. If you're a casual player and don't really keep up with socials, you're probably thinking the fishing emote was just a regular dance. Well, that's until you realize it's Icon series, and more importantly, it belongs to Jordan Fisher, who submitted the dance in the Emote Royale contest. Another cosmetic which no one expected to be a fan idea is Fish Skull. I mean, yeah, at first glance, he's just Skull Trooper Fish Stick, but it was first suggested by Slope on Reddit. I thought it'd be hilarious to see what the combo looked like, and people loved it so much that Epic had to put it in game. It was just like the legendary bandage bazooka. At the time, the original was all we had, and while it seemed cool, people wanted more out of it. So, Vault-Tec suggested a variant that could shoot chug splashes instead of bandages, and it went viral. It wasn't long before the chug cannon was now in our hands. It was such a good idea that Epic replaced the original entirely. Speaking of great concepts, when Epic hosted their Halloween competition, the winners are featured as the main outfits of Fortnite Mayor's 2022. Sinister Glare was designed by Dreo, and Undying Sorrow was made by Kitsu. You could see how accurate the final design was compared to the concept art. I mean, this is super impressive. But not every fan idea has a happy ending. There's a huge controversy in Chapter 3 when Epic let community members design tilted towers. With a ton of buildings missing, creative builders could pitch their own and let other players decide who wins. It was kinda cool at first. With each update we get a fan POI, but the only problem was the vote was kinda rigged. Some designs were only picked because they were the default option. When it comes to skins, usually Epic changes up an outfit when they bring it to the game, unless that skin is Nia. This concept by Sock was so popular that Epic immediately bought it. Her entire set was brought to life and released in an exclusive Save the World bundle. She kept the name Nia, and you can even find her as an NPC on the island right now. Reminds me of Isabelle. She is this month's crew pack skin and was created by Denny. He also made the original Isabelle skin, which has been remade multiple times for holiday seasons. The edit styles of Isabelle pay homage to both the original and Calamity, which Denny's first concept was based on. There is an item which can't be attributed to one person, but a ton of concepts. Over time, Reddit posters have shared their idea for a shield shower. It was something you could place above your head and stand underneath to heal your team. They even made in-game examples of what it would look like. Epic stepped in and improved this. It'd be pretty annoying to stand under something just for heals, but what if you could throw it on the floor? And that's where the shield keg was born. One of my personal favorite updates is all thanks to a simple petition on change.org. Cody Ketty made a plea to Epic Games. Since I was just a boy, I've always loved jumping out of the battle bus, but something was missing, and that thing is the ability to thank the bus driver. It got almost 4,000 signatures and caught the attention of news articles before Epic had to see it. Then, in a random update, players realized they could press down on the D-pad and actually thank the bus driver. It wasn't in the patch notes. This was just a fun Easter egg for Cody that is still in the game years later. That's just like the emote wheel. Yeah, this basic feature wasn't Epic's idea. You could thank a Reddit post from half a decade ago who was unsatisfied with the current emotes. They wanted to add categories, multiple pages, and people agreed. Well, it definitely looks like Epic thought the same, adding a revamped version of the wheel that we all kinda like to this day. Something that absolutely made the game better is a post by Half Health. His name turned out to be very fitting because he suggested a buff to the slurp juice that would give you all the healing it offered instead of just filling one bar. An employee from Epic saw this and pointed out, hey, that's a neat idea, with another dev saying it'll be added in the next update. Moving on to a skin that was mainly used by Cypher PK, we have Foxfire. He's a male version of Manic, and despite all these reasons for it to exist, people need to acknowledge how it's a fan idea. The original design came from Bullseye, who even pointed out Cypher PK's icon skin will probably look something like this. Speaking of cosmetics, if you managed to get the Agency Renegades pack last year, you're probably a fan of Shady's 80. Especially when you learn this is the only way to take off her mask. You can't do it on the original. Well, that's because this unmasked version was designed by Yemikul. Now, getting your concept in a bundle is one thing, but imagine being the bundle. This happened to an artist named TSCR. They made a Halloween version of their favorite Fortnite skins, and this blew up, getting over 10,000 likes on Twitter. 2 years later, all three of these outfits are dropped in the Crypt Crashers pack, and it returns every Fortnitemares. I bet you forgot about the map feature though. Back in the day, you couldn't actually zoom into the minimap. In fact, it wouldn't even change with the storm. You'd have to just follow the line until you were in the circle. Yeah, I know, kind of a mess, and that's why Kyle Hoagie proposed a simple idea of let us zoom in. Reddit agreed, and so did Epic, because you've been able to browse the minimap ever since. So if you're wondering who has the record for the most ideas in the game, Gigi's Lab is definitely up there with an insane amount of concepts. They designed skins like Maisie from Rainbow Royale, Drop D, and most famously, Festival Lace, and there's probably more on the way as we speak. But those were a bunch of fan ideas added to Fortnite. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.